What's up, everyone, and welcome to HBCU 101. I am your host, Jaleel Thurman. HBCU 101 is a show that will take you all over the nation, giving you the ins and outs of HBCUs with a taste of the HBCU flavor. On today's episode of HBCU 101, we sit down with a Tuskegee alum who has been developing some of the most amazing homes in Atlanta, Georgia. But before we get to that, let's check out our HBCU news and see what's buzzing in our community with Tali Carr.
Okay, thanks, Jaleel. Appreciate that. Hey, it's maddening basketball. We can only say it so many ways, not get in trouble, right? Hey, so congrats to our postseason champions from the MEAC. Over on the men's side, Howard University, well, they made the big dance. On the girls' side, it was Norfolk State. Over in the SWAC, Grambling State, the men won their first ever SWAC championship, their first ever appearance in the NCAA tournament. And congratulations once again. All you know about those Jackson State women. They didn't win it last year, but they have won it a lot. Came away with a number 14 seed this year. Had to take on UConn in the NCAA tournament, but what an honor. A 14 seed. How about this? How about some respect? Putting some respect on that Jackson State name. All right, that's a quick look at news. Congrats again to all the guys and girls competing hard on the hardwood this year. Back to HBCU 101 with Jaleel Thurman.
Many know today's guest for his love for God, while others know him for developing some of the most amazing homes. HBCU 101 would love to welcome Tuskegee University alum, entrepreneur, and real estate developer, my guy, Carlton L. What's up, baby?
What's up, brother? How are you?
What's up, C? Hey, it's all good. It's nice to have family in the building.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
No,
Thank
the pleasure is all mine. Now, C, listen, you know, you from Talladega, Alabama.
Yes, sir.
Ain't nothing out there for what we talking about, right? Ain't nothing in Tuskegee, Alabama neither.
Right.
So what was it about Tuskegee that made you want to go?
Well, to be honest with you, as you stated, I'm from Talladega, a small town. And I was going to Alabama State University because that's where my family went, my two sisters and aunts, cousins.
Everybody.
And my mama was like, no, you need to go to Tuskegee.
Okay.
You know, so she saw something different in me.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, let me do my little research on Tuskegee because I didn't know too much about it.
Yeah.
But what we saw in the history books, you know, your George Washington Carvers, your Peanut Mans and stuff like that. So I did a little research on the university and fell in love. We went down and toured it. Man, I was like, oh, this home. You know what I'm saying? Like, this home, because I'm from a small town. So it felt right at home. So that's what made me choose Tuskegee.
Now, walk us through your experience.
Okay.
Because I bet, first and foremost, that heat is different. Listen, I've been a couple places, but you can really fry an egg. Like, walk us through your experience down at Tuskegee University.
I will say it's the pride of the swift-growing South.
Okay.
Tuskegee is one of them things that you really gonna swallow your pride, too, because, you know, it's real country.
Yeah.
And, you know, coming from, you know, a small town as well, I did get accustomed very well.
Okay.
This is one of the things, too, that I like to tell people about Tuskegee. It reminds me of a noun kinship.
Okay.
You know, when I got to Tuskegee, I felt that kinship, like, oh, this is my family.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, blood makes you related. You know, family and loyalty makes you family.
Yeah.
So I tell people that all the time, and that's what I got from Tuskegee. My whole 4 years of being down there.
Yeah. Now, Tuskegee University, it's certain schools that go viral for certain things or have things that stand out about their institution. Let's talk about that shed. like what make the shed is different, right? Like what makes it?
Stadium is different.
Yeah, that is though. That is. But it's always this one clip that goes crazy. Yeah. People in the shed. Like walk us through like kind of like that vibe and energy of that under the shed.
So the shed gave us family once again because only people that resided in that shed was Tuskegee students. You know, alumni, friends, family. Like once again, going back to that kinship.
Yeah.
Like them your kinfolks up under that shed.
Yeah.
And if you're not from Tuskegee, don't get up on that shed.
Okay.
We did we have a chant, and it got a little cussing in it, but we had a chant saying, "Get your stuff and get up out of our house." If you're up under that shed and you didn't go to Tuskegee, you understand?
Yeah.
So that shed just like brought us all together, and it was like what we did. You know, mostly our own pep rallies.
Yeah.
So you know, one thing about it, if we didn't win the game or we did win the game, it was like the school spirit that took us on.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I love about the shed, though, because it brought us all together. You had to get out there early, too.
Yeah.
To get up under that shed. You
Come on
had to get out there. The game might start at noon, but you got to get out there at 8 a.m. No lie, bro. We used to go to McDonald's for breakfast and head straight to the shed.
Word.
Like, that's how crazy
And listen, you want to be under that shed because that heat, like I just said, it's different. That's the only shade you gonna get.
He was different in Tuskegee, boy. I swear.
Now, looking back at your time at Tuskegee,
yes,
memorable moments, man. Like, what was one of the most memorable moments that you have?
I think dealing with and connecting with my friends that I have to this day. You know, I tell people your college friends are really your lifelong friends. And I truly believe that, man, the connections I made was undeniable, undescribable. And I just feel like when it comes down to my overall experience and knowing that togetherness as a whole, when we think about historically Black colleges and universities, people don't understand the depths of our culture.
Yeah.
You understand? And so my experience at Tuskegee, once again, was the connections that I made, the people that I would be, that I'm the best man in their weddings or groomsmen in their weddings to this day, and, you know, their kids' godfather. So, man, I couldn't take that for nothing, you know? So I wouldn't take that for granted. And I will say that too, you know, going to the country, you know, going from a city to a country, but you also, that teaches you diversity and inclusion.
Yeah.
You know, when we get these corporate jobs and they asking you, you know, back when we in college, we don't know about no damn diversity and inclusion.
Come on now.
But then when you get it and you think about it, you know, my life, my college experience was about diversity and inclusion. Because when I think about diversity, I think about you inviting me to the party. When I think about inclusion, I think about you asking me to dance. Yeah. And that's what college taught me. You understand? Not only did I get invited, but I also was asked to be included in what we got going on to help the change.
Yeah, I love to hear that.
Yeah.
I like how you just did that right now. I like that. I like that. Come on now. Come on now. Now, you've been able to do some really dope things, not only as an entrepreneur, but also in corporate America, but we'll talk about it after the break. It's Jalil, it's Carlton. You all stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to HBCU 101. It's Jalil, it's Carlton, AOC. Before the break, we was talking about the shit. Look at that. That joint crazy. Oh, you hearing the band right now?
Yes, sir. A little ball and parlay. They said whether sunny or gray.
Man. Now, see, look, before we get back to everything you've been doing, we talk a little HBCU trivia.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
All right. How many HBCUs are in the state of Alabama? Is it 10, 12, or 14?
It's 14. Yeah,
14. He like, one thing I know about my state.
Yeah.
Now, all right, earlier before the break, we also talked about what you've been able to do in corporate America.
Yes.
Right? So come out of school, you worked in banking, did a couple different things, but then not only did you learn some things there, but you also created your own company, Executive One Enterprises. Let's talk at where you, financial freedom for entrepreneurs and business owners and things like that. Why was that a passion for you?
So let me tell you this. One of the things too that I love about going into corporate America, I went into finance. So after graduating Tuskegee, I went into PNC University, which was a retail development leadership program for working in the financial institution for banking. So when I went through the 18-month program, I learned all facets of finance. When I'm talking about credit, I'm talking about mortgages, I'm talking about anything you can think of, checking, savings, IRAs, 401k, everything. So with that being said, it taught me so much, and I had to take this huge test. And once you take the test, they then give you your own financial center. So I did that, and when I got through it, I'm just like, oh my God. And the Bible speaks on that, we'll perish for a lack of knowledge. Oftentimes, when you look at finances, it's the number one cause of a lot of things. Finance is the number one cause of divorce. Finance causes a lot of heart attack, anxiety, depression, and all of these things when you go back to a study part of it. And it triggered me because I'm like, that's one of the things us as African Americans also struggle in the most is finance.
Yeah.
We don't know money. We don't know money management.
Yeah.
But once again, we wasn't taught that either.
Right.
We wasn't taught credit. That's not something that, you know, our forefathers sat down and went over.
Yep.
So I say that to say is that once I got into that and started falling in love with it and saying like, oh my God, it's not as hard or intimidating as they make it.
Right.
Because finance, when we start talking about finance credit, that stuff become intimidating.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's really simple. Buying a house is really simple. Like, why are we making it so hard? Why are people so scared to do so? And then once I did that, I then created my own business called Executive One Enterprises. Even the name Executive One came about is that I was the one, and I wanted people to understand you are the one that's making an executive decision over your life. Not the two, not the three, but you are the one.
I like that.
So I came up with my own business called Executive One Enterprises because I wanted people to understand you are the executive producer of your life, of your story, or whatever you have going on. So that's how Executive One came about, and that business is pretty much the mission of that business is to help individuals grow their businesses and, you know, understanding what a business truly is. Because sometimes we get our LLC, we get our, you know, corps, and we good to go. You know, it's much more than just getting an EIN and registered with the state. What is a LLC? What is a S corp? What is a C corp? What is the difference between the three? What does a business plan looks like? You know what I'm saying? What is your, you know, your SWOT analysis, your strength, your weakness, your opportunities, and your threats? So it did a lot of that. So I started with business optimization framework with teaching these people the importance of a business and what business best suitable for you, even going down to the business name that you select. Because oftentimes, to me, being in banking, it was a lot of people that had a great model, but their business name would deter us from getting lending. You know, so when we talk about a red line, it's like we was redlining ourselves. So that was just some of my things why I wanted to become this consultant on helping us specifically on how to navigate and scale our business.
And that's amazing, man, because we don't have enough of that. Right. You like, look, hold on, wait a minute. Like, I'm learning this. It's not that hard. Let me break this down so that way my people can digest this and be able to grow from here.
And then they look at it and be like, man, I didn't even know that.
It was
like,
that easy.
It's that simple.
It's that simple.
Yes, and even certain forms that banking asks you, like, oh, we need a debt schedule, we need a balance sheet, we need a profit and loss statement. People look at you like, no, I don't got that, bro. Like, I'm good.
And it's simple.
And it's just
it's very simple. Now, in this space, mentorship is important.
Yes.
And entrepreneurship and everything that you're doing, you got a mentor that really kind of taught you the game in real estate. Like, what was that process like, just soaking up that knowledge of mentorship from their perspective?
I will also say, always get rid of pride. Don't allow pride. Pain has taught me what pride wouldn't allow me to learn. And I say that because at the end of the day, this was an individual that came into the bank. And I'm gonna be honest with you. And I saw her bank account. You know, I'm the branch manager. She came in, wanted to open up some business accounts, and the money that was deposited in and out. And I was like, what do you do? The audio matched the video.
Come on,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you literally getting out of a G-Wagon and your bank account reflects a G-Wagon. You know what I'm saying? So I love that. So the audio matched the video. So I'm asking, what do you do? And I came in humble. That's why I said get rid of your pride. Because I came in humble and asking her, because in a place, to be honest with you, I was working at the bank, but I was also Ubering after work, trying to make ends meet. And so with that being said, she said, I do real estate. And I was like, oh, wow, like, what type of real estate? You're a realtor? She said, no, I'm a real estate investor and developer. And I was like, oh, man, I watch HGTV a lot. I want to get into that one day. I love, you know, that type of stuff. And she was like, well, it's not as simple as they make it on TV. However, you know, it is very rewarding. And I was like, what would that take for someone like me to come in? And so after that, she's like, let's meet. We met, and long story short, we met. And when I tell you, like, she changed my life and the trajectory of it. And when I got involved with her, she told me, like, you need about a good $50,000 up front, you know, to kind of invest in something. And I was like, well, I'm gonna be honest with you, I only have $5 saved. You know, I know I'm a branch manager, but I ain't even got $5. And so I was like, but I can't come up with the money because once again, funding. And when I say funding, you know, got good credit, and I can do a business line of credit. And me working at the bank, they gave us, a little leeway on getting it. So I say all that to say I got it. And when I got invested my first $50,000, it went up from there. Like when I got my return back, I was like, oh, I'm ready to do this again and again and again and again. And here you go, 40 million later.
Come on now. Hold on. She just said 40 million later. You know what I'm saying? But look, we're going to talk more about the money, but we're going to talk about it after the break. It's Jalil, it's Carlton. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. My boy said 40 million later.
Time now for Did You Know? Brought to you by HBCU Pride Nation. Did you know 70% of African American dentists earn degrees at HBCUs?
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to HBCU 101. It's Jalil, and I got Tuskegee University in the building saying 40 million later. That ain't nothing. Yo, see. All right, look, before the break, we talked about how you started getting into real estate, right? Now you're full throttle real estate developer, but for those people that don't understand what that is and what that looks like, can you walk us through what it is you actually do?
So as a real estate investor and developer, what I pretty much do is go out and source different properties or land. And with that being said, I pretty much go out, do a whole assessment, what I call an investment package, and that'll let me know the comps in the area, what's the growing market within the next 3 years, what the school zonings look like. And that's kind of like how I mitigate some of my risks. It's like, nah, I don't want to do this investment. Yeah, or I see this coming, I would say too, the Atlanta West End here in Atlanta, the West End, when I got in it, it was real sketchy. Now the West End, the minimum home over there about $400K. When I was buying over there, them houses were $90,000, $100,000. And that's pretty much what I do. Once I source a particular home, either it's going to be a new construction or a fix and flip. I do both. But now I'm going to be honest with you, I do a lot of high-end renovations and a lot of high-end new construction custom built homes. I did the smaller ones, and now my ARVs are a little bigger now.
Yeah. Big dog.
Yeah. Big car, not the little one.
Come on now, man. Now when you say high end, for those what does that look like?
So high end is like I'm going buying $1 million homes and putting $1 million into them.
Yeah. You
understand? To get an ARV of $4 or $5 million.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I'm in your Buckhead area, your Sandy Spring area, your Johns Creek, things of that nature. So that's why I'm saying more your high end, your more mass affluent neighborhoods and communities.
What's been your favorite project?
My favorite project, I think, is the one that I'm about to start on now, to be honest with you. This particular home is in the Argonne Forest Park of Buckhead, right in walking distance to the governor's mansion.
Okay.
And this particular home was a 1922 build. And the transformation that I'm about to get ready to do with this home, I think is about to be extremely fun. Yeah. And I think too, because also shout out to my plug, Jonathan Baylor, which is my good friend, him doing the interior design and us working hand in hand on this particular project.
Okay.
Gonna be good.
Yeah.
And I think this is honestly, I got my permits approved today on that one. So that's gonna be the best one thus far.
Thus far. I mean, it sounds like you cooking out here in Atlanta. Atlanta, Georgia has been real good to you.
Atlanta has been great to the kids.
Yeah.
Good is understatement.
Come on. Now, for someone looking to get started, what advice do you have?
I would tell people this too, is to hire your weakness. Is to hire your weakness. And sometimes we think we could do it all, and that's just not the case. And when I say that, because even me being in real estate, when I first started, it was certain things that I was like, oh, drywall. I know how to go to Home Depot and go put these drywall, measure it and put the drywall up with the mud and things of that nature. And then when I get my inspection, they like, oh, we got to tear all this drywall down. Like it's crooked, too many holes here. And it was like, just taught me small things. Like now it costs me more money.
Yeah.
And so I would just say one of the biggest things is hire your weakness. And that's all the way down from getting a loan, opening up that business account, or whatever the case may be. Hire something that you know that you're not great at. And it's okay. It's okay to put that money out up front and then reap a greater harvest on the end.
What's next for Carl? My life is Carl. What's next?
Of course, I tell people all the time, and I just said this on the last podcast that I'm on, I actually want to get into motivational speaking. I want to get into that, like selling out arenas. And it's also being destined for me to, have my own reality show around real estate. And, we're going to talk a little more about that. And so that's kind of like what I want to see next, because all I aspire to do is inspire you before I expire. And so that's all I want to do is motivate people, all I want to brag about is how many people I put in the game.
Yeah. And that's what it's about, right? Because you can't take all the knowledge with you. You had to ask someone humbly, and they said, okay, I got you, gave you the keys, and now you done went running with it. And it's only right that you do the same thing back.
Yes.
And so I definitely want to just commend you on all your success.
Thank you.
Because my boy said earlier, like, shit, $40 million. That's it. That's all. So I'm not mad at that. Now, anything else you want to leave the people? Like any advice, anything that you gems, anything that you just want to leave out that the people should know in general, whether it's about real estate or about life?
Right. So going from a spiritual standpoint, I would say lean not to your own understanding and acknowledge him in all thy ways, and he shall direct your path. And as cliche as that is, that remains true. And so many people see my success. And I tell people how you measure success is truly how you be a blessing to someone else. And so many people see my success And I'm just telling them, like, at the end of the day, I pray on things, I allow God to lead me, and I allow him to order my steps, and I walk upright in those steps. The Bible says, I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor my children begging for bread. I won't be begging for bread because I'm going to do right by people, because in the day, that's who God loves, his people. Mm-hmm. So that's my advice to anybody that's listening and watching us on today, is do right by people and watch God do right by you.
Come on, I told y'all at the beginning of the show, I said people don't fall in love for the big fella. Now look, before we let you go, see, I play a game with all our guests.
Okay.
Called I Got 5 on it.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna stay in the state of Alabama. All right. Who yards you got 5 on? And I'm gonna go to one of y'all rivalries. Alabama State or Alabama A&M. Who you putting your 5 on? Yard going crazy.
Tuskegee. Is that a question?
Hey, C said, forget Alabama State, Alabama A&M. Listen, the only school that matter in the state of Alabama is Tuskegee itself. Y'all heard it from C. It's Jalil, it's Carlton. You all stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Yes, sir.
Time now for your HBCU Wall Street 101s. The month of March is Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month. Some of the more uncommon symptoms that come up with MS are difficulty speaking, difficulty swallowing, seizures, hearing loss, and loss of taste. Today's Brain Love Spotlight falls on Meshach Stinnett Sr. from Delaware State University. This proud HBCU alumnus is a local community champion and advocate for youth empowerment. As the brand ambassador for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Delaware, Meshach plays a crucial role in promoting their mission to ignite the potential within every child. Today's Brain Love Spotlight, Meshach Stinnett from Delaware State University.
That's it for today's episode of HBCU 101. I got to give a special thank you and shout out to my God, Carlton, coming through, giving us the scoop on everything from Tuskegee to real estate. And even though he sprinkled some of the big fella in here, we all need a little word on this day, all right? For the entire crew, I am your host, Jalil, and I'll see you next week.